Final score, Biggar 15, Melrose 20. The visitors take the points and run. 2 tries from Bruce Colvine and consistent kicking from his brother sends the iconic black and yellow back down the road with the win. The first was a rare charge down try from Hamish Weir. He charged the ball down, as I said, and offloaded the ball to Bruce, who literally just had to fall over the line. A rare one for him. As I said, his brother then added 2 points with the conversion and 2 penalties. A solo penalty from Biggar sent the scores in at half-time as 3-13 to the away side. After that, at half-time, there was a cause for confusion as due to Melrose's only tight head prop being injured due to illness, there was an uncontested scrum to follow on as they had a full number of squad list, which meant they did not have to drop a player off the pitch. After that, on the 46-minute mark, Bruce Colvine got his second try of the game. That was a much more usual situation for him, watching his dominant pack have good line-out play, pick and goes, leaving a gap for him to pick, snipe and go straight over the whitewash for his second try of the game. Once again, his brother kicks the conversion, and that was an accurate story to get them to their 20 points. Biggar obviously didn't like that taste in their mouth as they responded with a try 5 minutes later through winger Andrew Lamb. Beautiful backwork move and a good offload meant Andrew just had to burl his way over the line, carrying his opposite man over with him, dotting down on the far side of the pitch in the corner. The final 30 minutes of the game was all about the word pressure. How well could Biggar apply it and how well could Melrose absorb it? Logan Kirk of Melrose seeing yellow for an accidental high tackle, and then Donald Crawford also spending the final minutes on the sidelines indicates that this has been a longer affair. Biggar could have definitely came away with a win today. That was then followed up with the final play of the game as Biggar number 6 Bertram scored with the final whistle blowing to get that vital losing bonus point. Biggar go away to Watsonians next week and Melrose have a tough task of welcoming top of the table Kelso to the Green Yards. Today though, it all ends Biggar 15, Melrose 20. Bruce, not a bad day to be a Colvin with you and obviously David getting all the points today for the team. How was that for you to sum up the game?
Yeah, brilliant. It's brilliant to get to play with my brother. Obviously, coming back in the club captaincy, every time I get to play with our home club with him, it's always special. And to go and do something to score both the points. But it doesn't matter who scores the points. The win at the end of the day is the most important thing.
Well, exactly that, and like you say, never an easy place to come to Hartreemill and get points. So what was the mindset for the team going into this? Obviously George was taking the main reins today, coaching was about issues, I'm sure I'll speak to him later, but how was the mindset, what was the approach for the game?
I think we knew we kind of let ourselves down probably in the second half last week. We were very kind of peak and trough. We've worked really hard this week, long sessions Tuesday, Thursday. We know that coming down here is a hard place, and I think it was just backing our skill set. Bert, George do a heap of work for us and give us all the sort of game plans. It was just going and executing that, I think. And probably that discipline thing, I think it's still a bit disappointing probably. A penalty count and 2 yellow cards today is just a bit high, but these are things we can control and we can go to work and fix. So.
Amazing. And then lastly, we're going to have to talk about your first try, a bit about the blue. 2 minutes in, you saw Hamish charge that down. What were your thoughts when you watched him get a hand to that ball?
That he wasn't going to pass it to me. It was very fortuitous. Thankfully he's got the same height as his dad and was able to get one hand to it and get it charged down, and always the sort of opportunist standing there to get the 1 yard run in. So it was good. It was good way to start.
George, up at Hartreemill getting a win, how was that for you and the boys?
Honestly incredible, good feeling. Boys put in a really good effort, so I can't fault that. And obviously against a really good Biggar outfit, they came firing out the box, and it was a bit tough as head coach to jumble up what's going on in the scrum, and that's not really my forte, but we got there eventually, and it was just good to see the boys get the win.
And then obviously you got the try quite early on in the second minute. How does your approach change as the coach? Did you plan to go ahead early? Were you thinking get points where we can, or just talk us through how your mind shift changed after that first try?
From the start, we kind of wanted to play with the wind, put them to the sword early, and obviously it's a bonus getting the early try. We kind of had a lack moment, we went off the steam a little bit, and they kind of got back into it with a couple of penalties. But from there, it's just kind of being clinical, exiting properly once we've scored, and just sticking to the game plan, because the game plan does work, and trying to avoid any unnecessary errors.
And then, well, you speak of unnecessary errors. Obviously, unfortunately, 2 cards for yourselves today. One maybe a bit harsh for the line speed, but you know the game's the game. What is your advice to the team as you're getting these penalties? Obviously, you spent 10 minutes camped in your own 22. What was the mindset for yourself there, and what were you trying to get across to the boys for that final 10 minutes?
The boys are smart enough to figure out for themselves. You know, if they're not going to get their feet on side, then they will be camped in their own 22, and it's them that are put under the pump. You know, I'm at the sideline, so it's a bit disciplined from them. We have coached it into them to take that half metre from the back foot, and it is simple things. You know, a team like Biggar, you can't let them back into the game. So it is just, we need to just hone in on our little errors and be a bit more disciplined.